Hey, what's going on YouTube? Alabama Reloader here. So coming to you today, talking about one of my favorite cartridges, the 270 Winchester. And I will be breaking up this video into multiple subsequent videos where I just focus on one bullet combined with this powder. So this is Midwest Powder's MP620. And basically it's pretty much equivalent to Reloader 19. It says so on their website, on the load data, even on the jug. It says use Alliant Reloader 19 data. That's what you need to go by whenever you're working up loads with this stuff. And I've tested this, go back and watch, but I've tested this powder with the 128 grain Meguiar Ballistics Copper Rose Hollow Point bullet, and I actually have really good results. Really good initial results with the limited testing that I did. And so that kind of sparked an interest where it's like, okay, well, it shot really well with that particular bullet. What if I switch over to a more traditional bullet construction style, right? Traditional cup and core type hunting bullet. What would that look like? Because the Copper Rose, that's a solid copper projectile. So swapped over, and I'm gonna go over the results for this guy. This is the Hornady 130 grain SST. Now, I've had good luck with the SST in the past. I know it's kind of hit or miss when you go and look at reviews and kind of get feedback from other people online. This bullet is not, at least from what I can tell and from what I can find, and everyone's posting about and commenting on, is what the issue that a lot of people have with this bullet is you're not gonna get a pass through, right? Or at least you typically do not get a complete pass through like on a whitetail deer. If you're shooting a whitetail deer with this stuff, I've seen a lot of people post online about that's their major complaint. Oh, the blood trail's not good. Hopefully you shoot the deer in a field and you can see it fall and all this stuff because the blood trail is terrible and all that, which makes sense because this is not necessarily, this is not a bonded bullet. This is not a solid copper bullet. This is nothing to that effect. It's not meant for deep penetration and like 100% weight retention. It's not gonna, you're not gonna get a pass through. It's not necessarily designed to do that. So I think that just kind of upset some people though on how this bullet performs. So you just have to keep that in mind, right? It depends on what you're trying to accomplish with the performance of the bullet. You know, dead deer's a dead deer. I got it. People argue that point all the time. But if you purchase a bullet, right, and you think it's gonna do one thing and it does something completely different, probably not gonna be too happy about it. But a lot of people say these things punch paper really well because they shoot really good. So wanted to give those a try with this powder. Thought it might be a good combination to check out. Now you will notice that, so these are all the 270 rounds I've got to shoot. I had odd numbers of brass, an odd quantity of brass. That's why I just basically worked up a lot of 4-shot groups. Everything here is 4-shot groups. Except for this last one. These are with the federal, what was it, like trophy bonded or something. These are pulled bullets from AmericanReloading.com, so there's a lot of pull marks in these particular bullets, which is fine. I still want to shoot them, see how they do. This stuff's 25-06, so don't worry about that. But the rest of these are going to be 4-shot groups, and I shot 4 of the 5 groups today. I didn't shoot the 5th group simply because we reached a point where my primers were starting to flatten, and I was already at some speeds that I'm not gonna load there anyway. So I'm not even gonna waste, the shots. I'll just pull the bullets, dump the powder, and go from there. So let's kind of get into the results. I started with 55 grains, and I'm jumping 1 grain increments. So making larger jumps and just seeing how it does. With 55 grains, 4-shot group, point of aim was here, so just slightly high and left. We were at 1.408 inches, and our velocity was 30-24. Now, all the standard deviations and extreme spreads were, you know, pretty acceptable. They were all within the teens in terms of the SDs. So in between 10 and 20, 10 and 19, somewhere in that range. But again, these sample sizes are so small. It's good to understand the SD and the extreme spread. That way, you know, you can at least understand, is the ignition working as it should, or is there something really weird going on, right? And that's really all it was today. It was just understanding that, yes, everything seems to be working fine. There's no crazy issues with ignition. Jump up a grain to 56 grains, and we were just under 3,100 feet per second, so 3,097.7. All velocity was captured with the Garmin 01 chronograph, or whatever it's called. In this group, 4-shot group, it was 0.592. So you see they're still slightly high, but now the horizontal component wasn't really there on the group compared to that first one. The third group, this is 57 grains, and we're up to 3152.4 on the velocity, 1.304 on our group size. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 shots there. You know, still hitting high, slightly left. You can kind of see even this one, you know, we're still on the left side. Not as far left as this guy, but still general point of impact, we're still high and to the left. Come down to the 58 grains. So this is the fourth group I shot, 58 grains, and we were at 3222.9, so basically 3223 with a 1.135 inch group. Now on this one, the primers did start to flatten, and so that's why I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna shoot this hot anyway. I'm not gonna be shooting at those speeds. I'm gonna drop back down somewhere between this 55 and 57 grain range, around 3,100. And that's kind of the thing that I saw with the McGuire ballistics testing that I did. This powder shot really well, like right at 3,000 feet per second with that bullet. It's 128 grain bullet. Yes, you can most definitely push it a lot faster in a 270 Winchester, but with that combination, you know, that bullet and powder combination, it shot really well at 3,000 feet per second. So what I might end up doing is possibly dropping down maybe and seeing what this would look like, maybe a little bit lower, maybe 54.5. Just drop down a half grain and see what that would look like at 3,000 feet per second. But yeah, 3,000 to 3,100, I think is a really good range with 130 grain bullets in the 270 Winchester. Everything that I've ever shot in that weight class, somewhere in that 3,000 feet per second range, has always shot really well, especially out of this Tikka T3X. So good stuff there. Overall, great day at the range. It was super hot, super humid. There's a bunch of people there. I was gonna try to film a little bit, but man, it was pretty crowded. It's Saturday, you know, everyone enjoying their day off, hitting up the range. Just a lot of, hey, can we go cold? You know, that type of stuff. Just a lot of the, can we go cold? Let me set up targets. By the time you get back and you go hot and you shoot a couple rounds, somebody else pulls up. Oh, hey, do you mind if we go cold? That type of stuff. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna focus on the SST load today, get a video out, and then I'll do subsequent videos on, like I said, this is the 130 grain federal trophy bonded, I believe is what it's called, something like that. And then these are some Nosler partition, 130 grain seconds or pulled bullets, whatever, again from AmericanReloading.com. And then this other one, this is the Hornady 130 grain interlock. This is just a standard traditional hunting bullet. This is, you know, this was the predecessor to the SST. So I just want to see if there was much of a difference between the two and how they shot. So that's it. That's where we're going to leave this video today. That's kind of the first of the, I guess you'll call it 4 videos coming up, because I got 4 different bullets that I want to test. But testing everything with this powder, and they're all, so another thing I will mention is that all of these bullets, I believe, were seated to the exact same seating depth. I'll have to go back and double check my notes, but I wanted to keep everything just about as consistent as possible between all of the groups and all of the bullets that I tested. And I think they were all seated either the same or right around the same cartridge overall length. And then on top of that, they're all, you know, using this exact same charge weight range of 55 up to 59 grains. So jumping 1 grain each time with all of these, with all these groups. Now, not these guys, not those, right? Because there's only 4 of those. So, and then on this one, I've got 4 of the groups are 4-shot, and then this last one's a 3-shot group. So, but that's it. Kind of laying the groundwork for these upcoming videos. Just got to get back out to the range, spend a lot more time at the range because it's like 110 degrees outside. Humidity is about 5,000%. And so it takes forever for the barrel to cool down in between shots, and then of course in between groups. But overall, it was a great day. I thought it was a pretty successful day at the range. I'm really liking this MP620 in 270 Winchester. It's looking like it's going to be, you know, a really good powder to go with. If you're struggling to find powder, you know, especially at a reasonable price, this stuff can be picked up when it hits the shelves, or, you know, the store, AmericanReloading.com. If you go there, they're posting every day, every other day. There's some different Midwest powder that's hitting the shelf. You can find this stuff for really cheap compared to 8-pound jugs of Alliant Reloader 19. Good luck finding that stuff. You're gonna pay an arm and a leg for it when you do find it. Yeah, this stuff seems to be working pretty well so far. Pretty pleased with it, but that's it. That's where I'm gonna leave it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Check out that awesome hat. Man, that thing's so cool. And the feedback on that's been really amazing, by the way. I've kind of been overwhelmed with the number of people that are like, oh, hey, if you offered that and you sold that, I would totally buy one. Which I'm thinking about pursuing that, because people have asked in the past, you know, hey, why don't you have a Patreon account? Why don't you have something set up where people can contribute to the channel? Well, because if that's the case, then I feel obligated, and it turns it more into a job, right? Because you're supporting me financially and you're spending your hard-earned money, and then it's like, okay, well, people are contributing because they like the content or whatever, they want to support the channel. That's great. Then that means now there's an obligation. That's how that works, right? You contribute money, there is now an obligation on the person receiving the money, especially doing this kind of stuff, that it's time to get out some content or whatever the case may be, right? I don't want to do that because I don't want this to turn into a job, because I just enjoy this as a hobby and it's a lot of fun. So I did think, though, that if there's something like that where you actually get something for your money, then I would be open to doing that, right? And so that's an awesome hat. I'm a huge fan of that. Really thankful my mom and dad hooked me up with that for Father's Day. Really cool gift. It was a surprise. I was blown away by it. And I think it just turned out really great. I love the design of the logo. Worked on that a few different iterations with the company that made this. They actually designed the logo for me also. And yeah, I think it's awesome. So I'm thinking about pursuing that. But also, today's snack, some deer snack sticks with cheese. These are from Weaver's over in Hartselle, Alabama. Weaver's Meat Processing. Those guys are dynamite. That is the go-to deer processor, at least for me and my family. That's who we use. Their specialty stuff is second to none. It's literally the best stuff you'll eat. Their summer sausage, especially the jalapeno cheddar summer sausage. You won't find better summer sausage anywhere. I dare you to try. So that's it. That's where we're gonna leave it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget, you need anything firearms related, reloading related, optics, blah, 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 yada, 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 gun cleaning stuff, whatever the case may be, don't forget to swing by and check out Mr. Big Guns in Huntsville, Alabama. Also, go see Midway Pistol and Ammo out in Gurley, Alabama. Tell them I sent you. They'll probably charge you more for your stuff if you tell them that, but it is what it is. So that's it. We're gonna leave it there, call it done. Hope you guys have a great, I'm gonna post this video before the 4th of July holiday, so I hope everyone has a safe, very safe, but fun 4th of July holiday, Independence Day. What a great day for our nation. So that's it, that's all. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll catch you next time. Y'all have a good one.